What's up, guys? I'm Corbin.
And I'm Brian.
And we're here to talk about some awesome trees in Maplewood Gardens. And yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe down below. Helps us out. Go check out MrMaple.com. But first off, what do we got here, Brian?
So we're in the heat of summer right now, probably like the hottest week here in North Carolina that we've had in a while. And I was thinking, man, we need to do like a top 5 of my favorite summer color plants over here at Maplewood Knoll Gardens. And today we're starting out with number 5, fairy lights.
Yeah, this is a pretty awesome japonicum selection, dude. I love the lace leaf japonicums. They really bring something a lot different to the garden. Obviously, it'll contrast with the regular lace leaves. But dude, I love the greens. I love those fall colors, man.
Yeah, this thing is like a super dwarf too. I'm working in a small space in my garden, so that's one of those things I'm always looking for is those dwarfs. I like to place a lot of dwarfs and then put a nice big upright, but this is going to fit in so many spaces in your gardens. And you're right, dude, the fall color on this thing is crazy. Reds, oranges, yellows, all at the same time, all on the same leaf. This thing is about to light up. We're getting to the end here of August, getting into September soon. So this thing is going to start putting on a crazy show here pretty soon. And that's one of the things I love about it, because it gives you that fresh green color in the summer. But then that fall color, you know, is just around the corner and it's going to go crazy.
Yeah, man, japonicums are such an awesome canvas for fall colors. You get so many different purples, reds, and yellows, man. And I love to see it all in the same leaf. And yeah, that lace leaf really provides an amazing canvas. And dude, I really need one of these in my garden.
Definitely, man. I mean, this has a very super finely dissected leaf on that. I love that about that. And being a japonicum, like that combination of lace leaf japonicum is really cool. And I just love the stature, the short little round form that this has. This is a nice mature specimen here in Maplewood Knoll Garden. So a great showcase of what this thing can be later on in its life in your garden. Just a perfect little round little ball, nice short and compact shape to it. I love that, man. Acer japonicum fairy lights.
All right, let's go check out that next tree.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Brian, so we didn't have to go very far. Here's that fairy lights we were just sitting in front of. What do we got right here, man?
Dude, we've got Acer palmatum Kaku. Right now, I could have easily went with Makawi Yatsubusa, but we talk about Makawi Yatsubusa all the time for good reason, because it's an amazing plant. But this is a very unique in the sense that it gives you that Makawa feel, but it gets out there a little quicker. It's a little more spread out, and gives you a nice, strong, like upright, kind of a medium size, gets like 8 to 6 feet in like 15 years. So it's not really big, but it gets out there a little quicker than Makawa does. So I like that about it, man.
Yeah, man. Whenever we were in Oregon, I got to see some of these at Don Schmidt Nursery.
Yeah.
And they weren't as big as this, but compared to the Makawas, you can tell it definitely grows a lot quicker. So people that love that Makawa feel but don't necessarily have as much patience, this is going to be an awesome one. During the fall, it's going to light up your garden, that fiery red color.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the dense Makawa growth habit that it kind of has. And yeah, I love also the structure of the tree. Definitely very Makawa. It's got big main branches that kind of hit smaller, a little bit smaller branching.
Yeah.
And you still get that awesome, like almost bamboo looking bark interest on there too, which I love.
Yeah, that like tightly layered leaves on it looks so similar to Makawa. And like I said, man, the structure of this thing, like after that fiery red fall color, then you get to see the structure of the plant. It's really nice, man. A lot of curving and crossing branches in there. Super, like, really like a hefty kind of like plant, you know what I mean? Like it's like very rigid and sturdy. I love that about the like Makawa types, man. They have such unique forms and shapes out in the garden. And Kaku, man, it's just like the summer color on this thing. It's a nice green color out there in the garden. Very heat tolerant too, man. This is something that very similar to like with Makawa. This is something you can grow in a lot of sun and not worry about that leaf burn on that. I absolutely love this plant. One of my favorites out here in the Maplewood Knoll Garden for that summer color. I love it, man. What do you think?
Oh yeah, you can tell why this is one of your favorites. It's a gigantic specimen right here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love how you can kind of see through it a little bit and
Right.
see that structure. And yeah, those little clouds of leaves are just awesome, man.
Yeah, I love that pairing too. You got the fairy lights out front, nice little compact dwarf. Another semi-dwarf behind it. So you're kind of playing with those levels out here in the garden, man. This garden is awesome, dudes. I could come over here and talk about my favorite plants all day.
Oh yeah, they got the standards in here, but then they got that crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
And man, I can't wait to see what else we got next, man.
Let's do it.
Bang, we're here. Another amazing plant. You guys are probably tired of us talking about this one. But I mean, look at this thing, dude. Shishi Gashira, baby.
Man, we got Shishi Gashira here in the garden at Maplewood Knoll Gardens. This thing always just looks amazing no matter what setting it's in. That's what I love about this plant. Like, so many people have like so many different areas that they're designing in their gardens, and it's like, this would look good anywhere. I mean, it's a great like dwarf also. Gives you that really cool crinkled cut leaf. The serrated edges on that gives you a little curl on that leaf. The texture on this thing is nuts, man. I just absolutely love the way this texture is. It's very like, it looks like a character, you know what I'm saying? Like, it looks crazy out there in the garden. One of my favorites, man, the lion's head, you know, like, I mean, it doesn't get much better than Shishi Gashira.
Definitely, man. I mean, this is another one I've seen specimens from 1 gallons all the way up to the oldest one in the United States.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
This tree is amazing. It looks great through all those stages of growth.
For sure.
And I mean, I love the growth habit. It reminds me of almost like green fireworks shooting up. You know, it has those really like straight diagonal branching habit that fills up so tight and dense with the leaf structure.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is a symphony of a plant, honestly, man. I mean, you get such amazing habits from a growth, awesome leaf habits, and I mean, it has some of the awesome progeny in its family.
For sure, man. This thing is really, really cool. I think most people don't think of this look when they think of Japanese maples. Most of the time people are thinking of that red upright or a lace leaf. You throw this out there, man, this thing, people's gonna be like, what in the world is that? Shishi Gashira puts on a show, man. I love this like dark green it has in the summer here. These are some of my favorite summer colors. As you can see, it kind of contrasts with like even seeing Kaku has that nice like lighter green color. This has got that really dark hunter green to it. I love that about it. And then the fall color, which is just around the corner, man, this thing lights up, dude. It gets oranges and little yellow speckles in there. At late, it gets red, man. This thing is just crazy. It like has a nice transition, all those different colors in the fall, man.
It's a lot of bang for your buck, and I mean, people are going to enjoy this one. I mean, since the 1800s, people have enjoyed this one, dude.
Right.
And you can tell why. It's amazing. Really, nothing else has that crinkled leaf like that, man. And it's just amazing how each one is just so unique and different, man.
That's right. Well, hey, man, we'll take you to the next one. Woo! Check this out, man. I had to bring you a lace leaf out here in the garden. We've been talking about a lot of dwarfs. This is another dwarf right here, man. I love lace leaves. They provide such a unique texture. But we all kind of know those typical like Tamukiyama, Crimson Queen, something like this. But this gives you a totally different feel, man. This has got a very super finely dissected leaf. Think of this, if you know your maples, man, think of this as like the weeping form of Siryu, right? Like it gives you that crazy finely dissected leaf on it. And actually kind of vigorous. It's kind of a weird like oxymoron there with it being a vigorous dwarf. But this thing gets super wide, about 6 to 8 feet in width, but only about 3 or 4 foot tall, right? In about 15 years. So it fits in a lot of spaces in the garden, but you do want to have a spot that has some width to it, man, because this thing gets out there like crazy.
Yeah, this one, it's got a wide load, man.
That's right.
And, you know, I love a tree that crawls across your landscape. This one's definitely going to fill up some space. It's going to be a lot slower, so, you know, be prepared to dig some stuff up that you might plant a little bit closer to this on early on. But, I mean, you're going to get an amazing big ball that's kind of very wide, awesome structure, honestly, in this thing.
Definitely.
And yeah, I love trees that crawl across the landscape and give a lot of ground cover. I think that's something that isn't necessarily highlighted too much with Japanese maples, but I mean, the lace leaves are perfect for that. You know, you're gonna look over here, look over here in the fall time, seeing some awesome maroon colors.
Yes.
And I mean, it's gonna look really nice compared to, say, some other trees that get that yellow.
Right.
Maybe pair this with a couple ginkgos around.
Right, exactly.
And you know, maybe some dwarf ginkgos, so that you're kind of getting that contrast, the yellow and that dark maroon on this tree. But I mean, this thing's amazing, dude.
It is amazing, man. I love the green lace leaves, and most green lace leaves are going to go to that oranges and yellows, where this one goes to that nice dark red maroon color. So that's kind of an interesting thing about it. That's what reminds me of it with Cereus. Cereus does the same thing. It's that green lace leaf, but it goes more to that dark maroon color. So this really reminds me of that, but in this really crazy, like, cascading form to it. And you know, after the fall color, the structure of this thing, I mean, these things grow crazy. I mean, they just twist and turn, curve and mound, man, and just reaching. It reminds me, like you said, of that, you know, that crawling across the ground, but that algiton that y'all saw, man, dude, that thing was crazy. It was like a huge mature specimen of that. And I imagine this thing probably gets very similar in that time frame. Just a huge, huge presence out in the garden. I love emerald lace, man. You guys should definitely add one of these to your gardens. Another one of my favorites here for that summer color. Definitely showing off in the garden today.
Yeah, dude, and if you like to rep North Carolina, where Mr. Maple is located, this one was found about 2 hours away in Charlotte, North Carolina, and introduced by Dale Laux.
Dale Laux, dude.
Awesome tree, and yeah, now it's off to #1.
To the #1.
Boom, baby.
Boom. All right, dude, my #1 favorite Japanese maple of all time and in this garden is Acer Shirasawanum Moonrise.
No surprise there, man. This guy loves Moonrise, dude. I mean, he's probably sold 200 of them suckers to people coming to open houses.
Definitely. Talking
about them in videos. I mean, gosh, we cannot sing the praises of this tree enough, man.
Dude, Carl Munn always brings it when he has an introduction. I absolutely love this plant. I think it's like the best form of any Shirasawanum out there. As far as like those color transitions, this thing kind of leafs out with this crazy like orange pink color with some lime green undertones to that. In the spring, it's nuts, man. I mean, there's really no other maple that compares to that spring color. And I love the way the structure on this plant too. Very multi-trunk system on it. Usually a nice rounded canopy on that. As you can see, this specimen here in the garden is one of the most beautiful moonrises you'll probably ever see, man. Every moonrise out there dreams about being like this when it gets of age.
Yeah, dude, and Matt just told me the story of whenever they, you know, brought this sucker over here. There was a truck, you know, everybody had left, Tim was gone, and then Matt was rolling this thing out of the back of the truck in a huge B&B.
Yeah.
Had to slide it down a wooden little ramp thing and get it loaded up and dug a hole and put it in here, man. And I mean, this is one of the largest specimens of moonrise I've ever seen. And I mean, this tree, it's like almost like a fruity beverage, man.
That's right, dude.
You know, you get that first little sip of sweetness, man. And then, you know, it goes to that nice springtime is a sweetness, and then into the summertime, you know, you still kind of get a little bit, and then that lime kicks in, man, and you still got that nice
that lime green.
Exactly. And then fall, you know, you get a nice little aftertaste.
Yeah, man.
That full on red, and it's going to be looking great in the landscape.
Dude, I love that analogy, dude, because, you know, as we know, most drinks get better as you drink them, right? So, you know, as you go along, you start to feel that buzz. This one definitely gives it to you in the garden. I mean, that new growth over top of that lime green is crazy, man. It's like this like red color over top of that bright, vibrant lime green. It's always contrasting. That's what I love about this. And as you can see, even when it's just in its lime green form, it is glowing out in the garden right here. I mean, it's contrasting with everything you see around it. I love this garden here because it shows so much diversity in plants. And Shirasawanum Moonrise, man, this thing just gives you all the things that you want about a Japanese maple.
Oh man, I think this one steals the show sometimes. You know, it's right next to the driveway.
Yeah.
It's one of those plants, it's like, whew, you just look at that sucker and you're like, dang, what is that, man? And I think, you know, it's amazing. I can't wait to see what Carl's got cooking up off of this thing, because I mean, dude, I want to see some seeds. I want to see some seedlings off of this thing, because it's like,
man,
what comes after that, man? That's like, it's already perfect almost, man.
It
It's
doesn't
just
get
like,
much better than Acer Shirasai and Moonrise, man.
yeah.
So dude, we appreciate you guys tuning in today. We're out here in the garden because we wanted to show you guys some nice specimens out here. And this specimen right here, dude, my all-time favorite. I'm just kind of like giddy just standing here by it, man, because it makes me just really appreciate the beauty of Japanese maples. There's so many different styles and leaf shape. They do a great job here at the Maplewood Knoll Garden of showing and demonstrating how you can pair Japanese maples together, different textures, different shapes, leaf color. I mean, everything out here, it's just absolutely beautiful. I love coming here because I love designing and thinking about gardening and landscaping. This is the perfect display garden for that.
Oh, definitely, dude. I love the ever-changing beauty. This place does not look the same in each season, let alone sometimes days or weeks, dude. Like, it can look completely different. I mean, that's one of the best parts about maples, is the diversity of leaf shape, structure, species, and also color and contrast in the plant itself. I mean,
it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in today. We hope you like and subscribe to our channel, because we're always bringing content like this for you guys to enjoy. We couldn't do it without you guys. So take care.
God bless.
Have a great day.